Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Sharpening.
We're in.
Shall we play a game?
How about global thermonuclear war?
Oh, forgot to load up my avatar. Just a second, everybody. All right, are we here? There we go. All right, everybody. NedMac says I've tried LeetCode a little before. NedMac, you seem like the kind of person who might be really good at LeetCode if you really put your mind to it. But I guess it really depends on whether or not you're a person who likes doing coding challenges versus doing projects to learn about code. But hello, nice to see you here. Anyways, let's talk about. Looks like my avatar isn't activated. Hold on. Okay. No, it is. Okay, great. All right, so what are we doing today? So we're going to be doing a very chill stream today. NedMax says, I prefer products, but I want to do more LeetCode in the future. Yeah, we're going to be doing a lot of LeetCode today. A lot of LeetCode. So what are we doing today? We're just doing coding in Hangout. We're going to be spending about 3 hours today. We're going to be doing some LeetCode Quest. And we're going to be documenting all of the solutions we do for our LeetCode challenges today. So let's go ahead and put a timer up on the screen, and let's get going with that. So we'll start by giving ourselves 2 hours, and we'll see where we're at the end of 2 hours. So I'm kind of excited to try out LeetCode today. And where did I put that thing? Here we go. Let's see. Let me go back to the LeetCode Quest screen over here. And we're going to be learning some very basic stuff. Data structures and algorithms, otherwise known as DSA. This is something that is pretty well established in the coding world. And we're going to be using some Python to solve these challenges. So this is more for my own education because I need to get better at doing some coding. Because I want to be a very well-rounded individual as far as tech and cybersecurity stuff is concerned. So let's go ahead and get into the first challenge over here. Okay, the mic seems far away. I can still hear you though. Never used LeetCode. Okay. Sorry, everybody. I didn't have my mic, my microphone in position. Jess Blessy, hello. Yeah, thank you very much for letting me know about that. I had the feeling that something was a bit off, but I didn't have my mic in place, or my headset rather. So much better now. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for letting me know. All right. So for each one of these challenges, we're going to have like a description of the challenge. We're going to have our coding window. We're going to be doing some tests, and then we're going to see if our solutions meet their expectations. So let's go ahead and get the description for this challenge. Okay, so the first challenge is called Q1 concatenation of array. So I guess we can call this array 1. We really want to do some documentation for these challenges. Wait till you get to recursion. I don't like recursion very much. But I guess we'll get to that bridge when we get to it. Okay, and while we're doing the coding, we might as well put some music on in the background. So let me go ahead and put that on. Okay, should be an okay volume right now. So we're doing some LeetCode, and this is going to be LeetCode Quest, so I'll make a different folder for that. So this is Quest, and this is, let's see, DSA, Data Systems and Algorithms. So this is LeetCode problems. Let me see if I can get this. So LeetCode Quest data systems and algorithms. So that is the course, and we're looking at this section is called like array 1. Okay, and what is this one? What is this exercise called? This one's just called Q1 concatenation of an array. Okay, this is going to be our markdown file. So a lot of people think that my method of doing coding is a bit weird because I just use a very simple text editor, and I use another window to run the code that I'm writing, and that's all I do. This is all I do. I don't have a fancy IDE or some sort of fancy software. Okay, MKR Rock says, how do you do AWS ones? Are you talking about AWS cloud security stuff? I think we were talking about this last time, right? We were talking about this last time, and I directed you at the education resources for cloud security. I'm pretty sure you're the same person who was asking about it last time. Okay, so what do we have here? Given an integer array nums of length n, you want to create an array ans of length 2n, okay, where ans I is equal to nums I and ans I plus n equals nums I for 0 greater or equal than to I greater than n 0 indexed. Specifically, ANS is a concatenation of two nums arrays. Okay, I meant AWS pen testing itself. I mean, what I would do is I would go to Pwned Labs. So Pwned Labs is my pick for learning about AWS pen testing stuff. They go through, if you go ahead and take a look at the exercises over there, they have a walkthrough where they give every single command that they use to do AWS pen testing. So you'd want to start over there. And Kemri Collymore, hello, nice to see you here. Nice to see you. How are you doing? Okay, so where were we? So return the array ANS. For example, if the input is number array equals 1, 2, 1, the output should be 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. So you just double the amount of things inside of it. The array ANS is formed as follows. So answer equals num0, nums1, nums2, num0, nums1, nums2. I mean, that seems simple enough. Segfaults, hello, nice to see you here. What is up with you? We're just doing some LeetCode problems. If you want to give it a try yourself. Okay, MKR Rock says not labs. I'm not sure what exactly you're asking for. So if you're not learning from labs, where are you, what kind of a learning environment do you want? Okay, constraints. So n equals nums. Yeah, so what we can do is we can just grab all of the instructions over here and we can include it in our walkthrough or in our write-up over here. So we recorded a couple of different things. So the URL where we can find the challenge, the concepts we need to understand to do the challenge, and the method of solving the challenge. Do you have a schedule for what your topic you're doing throughout the week or no? Yeah, we do have one. You can find that over in our Reddit. Any other direct pen testing points? So MK Rocks, I mean, the standard way of learning cybersecurity is through doing labs. I hope you're not asking about like, you know, hacking like random AWS configurations, because that's not legal. Okay, so the method is solve, the concept. I guess we can also include the instructions. But yeah, I mean, MKROX, you should reconsider using labs as a method of learning cybersecurity, because everybody uses labs. Okay, so we got our instructions over here. And let me get the URL for the challenge. Okay, so the concept here is just like concatenation. Concatenation of array contents. Okay, Kemri Collymore says, what was the lab you recommend for pen testing? Well, it really depends on what subject you want to learn, what kind of pen testing subject you want to learn. If you want to learn, like, Windows Active Directory, or if you want to learn web app pen testing, or if you want to learn cloud pen testing, they're all going to be different platforms. So let me know what kind of pen testing you're looking for. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about how we're going to be solving this problem. AWS. Okay, yeah, so if you want to do AWS pen testing stuff, then you want to go ahead and go to this link here. The main platform that I recommend is Pwned Labs. This one over here. I can go ahead and get you the direct link. Okay, so what's going on here? So class solution, get concatenation self number list. Nums is going to be a list which has an integer contents. It's going to output a list. Okay, so we might as well copy this part of the code and make it the first part of our own code. I'm going to call this, let's make a directory for this. Array1. We're going to call this concat.py. And then we'll start writing our code over here. No worries, Kenry. So class solution. And I guess we can... So let's see. They've got 4 spaces for indentation. So nums is going to be our list. So let's see. We just want to double the number of objects in list, right? So it's going to be something like return nums plus nums. We just need to return nums plus nums. And I think that should be it. That's all we need to do. But let's take a look at the examples here. Okay, so nums equals 1, 2, 1. The output is 1, 2, 1, 1, 2, 1. Okay, good. Nums 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1, 1, 3, 2, 1. And that's it. So the constraints are n is equal to nums.length. 1 is greater than or equal to n and less than 1,000. All right, seems pretty straightforward. So solve equals solution, and then we'll just do like a sample array, something like numList equals 3, or how about 1, 3, 3, 7, because we're super elite hackers. Okay, solve equals solution, and then I guess we can solve dot get concatenation with numList. And I guess we'll print that out. Okay, let's see if it works. Python concat.py. Expected indented block after function definition on line 2. Okay, def... Oh, sorry. Yeah. This is not the right indentation. Okay. So it should be like this. Indent the return. Yes. Thank you. All right. Whoops. Let's see. Name list is not defined. Do you mean list? Oh, okay. So self nums list. This has to be lowercase l. Yeah, for some reason I've encountered this error before in LeetCode. For some reason, for Python, they like doing list in uppercase, or like with yeah, doing it like that for some reason. Okay, so it seems to work. So I think, I mean, this is a quick win, but a win's a win. All right, let's go ahead and paste in our code. So let's see, class solution, all we need to do is return num plus nums. I always get that error when copying LeetCode questions. It's so annoying. Yeah, I mean, I wish they would really fix that, because it works inside their own interpreter, like their online interpreter, but for some reason it doesn't work for anybody else. Okay, we'll run this. Okay, accepted. Great. I mean, that was an easy win. It works on their box. Yeah, J-Beers, it works on their box. Maybe what we should do is we should get what is it called? We should get a Docker, like a Docker container of their box. All right, so this is done. Great. Okay, so I'll just copy the solution and then put it into our... and then put it into our write-up, and then we'll be off to the next challenge. Works on my machine. Yep. Okay, so Q1 concatenation of array. We'll move on to the next challenge. Where is that? So concatenation of array, Q2, shuffle the array. Okay, so this one is a different one. It's called shuffle the array. So given the array nums consisting of 2n elements in the form x1, x2 until xn, and then y1, y2 until yn, return the array in the form x1, y1, x2, y2, etc., etc. Okay? Jbeer says, to be honest, I expected like bug bounties or HackerOne, but this stuff is actually the foundations of breaking stuff. Bug bounties or HackerOne on my channel? I would never do bug bounties live on stream because doing... Well, okay. Let's talk about this for a sec. Why is it a bad idea to do bug bounties on live stream? What if you find something really bad? Can you race the people watching your stream to submit the bug? Are there a bunch of bug snipers looking to steal your work? You know, just this kind of stuff. Hack the box, not HackerOne. Oh, okay. That's kind of different. I mean, I do CTF boxes every once in a while. So once again, I've got like a Reddit where I've got scheduled content. You put your web stream on a different screen and you encourage others to report the bugs. Could do. But yeah, we've got different content on different days of the week. So we do Coding Sunday, and we're trying to do like Co-working Tuesday. Currently, I'm trying to work through like a C programming course. And then we do what is supposed to be Web App Wednesday, which is one of our regular streams, where we do education content, we do demos, we do warm-up puzzle games, and then we do a challenge that we've never done before. And then we do Fridays, which is kind of more of the same. Oh, Jay Beers don't you stream? You stream, right? I think I've rated you a couple of times. You've done like, you work in security, don't you? I used to stream live bug bounties. How did that go? Did you ever find something really cool and then report it before everybody else reported it? But let's give you a shout out. Actually, wait, do you still stream? I'll give you a shout out anyways. Oh, okay. I hope you're still having fun doing security stuff. Okay, where are we? So we're doing shuffle the array. So we're given 2 arrays, right? Yeah, I think I understand what the problem is here. So this is Q2 shuffle the array. Jay Beer says, I'm deep in research. Streaming made me super drained. Yeah, I can understand. Streaming can have a lot of different effects depending on who you are and what you're doing. Okay, so we'll try to record a few different things for this challenge as well. The URL where you can find it, the instructions. Actually, the concept we need to do to understand it, the instructions that were given, and the method of solving the challenge. JB says, I found a few big exploits, but the TOS of BugCrowd says if you share a vuln that you report, you can be banned. So I used my inner lawyer and just had my viewers report the bugs. Can you paste the URL for the question here? Yeah, I can certainly do that. So we're currently doing this one. It doesn't look like a very hard question. I guess we haven't gotten to the hard ones yet. But it's good to be able to start off with some easy ones. Okay, so where were we? Okay, so the concept here is just rearranging the contents of arrays. Okay, and we'll get the URL for this thing. All right, so what do we have for our code? So I've got class solution def shuffle self nums list n integer, and then output to list. Okay, so let's take a look at some of these example input and output. So input nums equals 251347, n equals 3. N equals 3. So output is going to be 235417. Since x1 equals 2, x2 equals 5, x3 equals 1. So we're going to be splitting this up by... How are we dividing this again? So given the array nums containing 2n elements in the form... Okay, return the array in the form. So the number is a list and n is an integer. Oh, So it's one list, but it has two parts. The one list has two parts, n elements plus n elements. N elements plus n elements. So I guess so this is split up on the third element. So it's up to the third element, it's one list, and up to the third element is a second list. So n equals 4 in this case, because we got 4 elements here, and then 4 elements here, and then we got 2 and 2. Okay, so I think I understand. Let's get to the coding. So I guess I can give myself a few notes here as well. So this is array 2. No, this is still array 1. So this one's shuffle. And we need to make sure that the list, ln list, is lowercase. Let's make this a little bit bigger. Okay, we can start. Let's write up our explanation to what's going on. So in this challenge, we're given a list. And a number where the list will be split into 2. So for example, list equals 1, 2, 3, 4, n equals 2, we should arrange the list into 2 lists. So first list would be 1, 2, and second would be 3, 4. The challenge wants... Okay, JBeer says, I love that Python is all about cases and spaces, man. Yeah, it's certainly very different from C, where it's all about curly braces. So the challenge wants us to return a single list where first 0, then second 0, then first 1, second 1, etc., etc. Okay, JBear says, makes it easy to break sometimes, but it can also be a form of security through obscurity by using random case on your variables. Random case on your variables. Is it, I mean, is it often that we're trying to secure our code, our Python code? Okay, so def shuffle. What are we doing here? I guess we can do it. You can do it the first thing, the same way we did it in the explanation up there. So just first list and second list. Actually, we can't mix these spaces and tabs. So first equals nums. Actually, wait. Are we doing like... Are we doing append? How do we... How should we populate this list? So we have nums as the list, and n is the integer. The first thing we want to do is we want to split the list into two. Let's look that up. Just a second. So Python split list into two. Split list into smaller lists, split in half. Okay, so split in half. Good old Stack Overflow. So I'm looking for a way to easily split a Python list in half. So I've got an array, this thing, and we want to be able to get B and C, which is 0, 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5. Okay, so you want a function. So A equals B equals C equals. So let's see, we've got A. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then we've got B equals A elements split. No, sorry, this is, what is it called again? Indexing. So it's indexing length of A divided by 2. So 2, I mean, it's always divided by 2. I'm pretty sure it's always divided by 2 in these examples. So append, maybe you could use pops and tuple. New comment, it seems too in-depth. There's a function in lists. There's a half function in lists. I mean, we can just do it through, what is it? Indexing, right? So indexing, start at the beginning, and then start at the beginning, end at half of the length of A, and then it would be length of A divided by 2, and then onto the end, like this. I mean, it seems to make sense. In this case, we don't really need the value n, but let's take a look at the examples. Yeah, splitting the list in half. 6364. Hello, nice to see you here. So I'm pretty sure if we're splitting it directly in half, we don't really need the value n. We might not want to split the list in half every time. The first examples throw me off, but the other two seem to make more sense. So the first example is just talking about how you recombine them, because the way you recombine them is also important. So the first thing we need to do is, so first equals nums, start from the beginning, and then the length of nums divided by 2. So stop there. And then here, second is going to be nums, length of nums divided by 2 until the end. And I guess, so to test this, we should probably just create like a sample array. So numList equals 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, no worries, no worries, no worries. I mean, I'm sure you're pretty good. You're probably pretty good at Python programming yourself, JBeers, since you've been working in cybersecurity for such a long time. Okay, so numList equals 1, 2, 3, 4, and we'll just create our solution here. So solve equals solution, and we'll do print solve.shuffle. And in solve.shuffle, let's go ahead and we'll print, so solve.shuffle on numList. Print first and second. So I just want to see what these arrays look like before we continue. Okay, so let's see. Missing one required position argument n. Oh, okay. So numList, and then n equals 2. First and second. What happened here? Hold on. Something weird is going on. No enough to get around. I do mostly in Bun and NPM. Do better web things than Python. Oh, okay. I love Python and make tools with it whenever I'm doing something more than handling requests and fuzzing. Awesome. Okay, so we probably want to print out first and then get the type of first. And then print out second and get the type of second. Because something weird is going on. Sadananda, hello, nice to see you here. What you're doing here is the foundations of data aggregation, which is needed always. Yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to get better at coding in general, and so this, I figure why not do it with some LeetCode. So 1, 2 class list, 3 class integer, none. What went wrong here? Oh, okay. I think we need to include this right here to make sure that we're actually appending the right things. So 1, 2 class list, 3, 4 class list, none. Oh, okay. So I guess we didn't really return anything from the shuffle function here. Yeah, missing, right. Missing the other colon. Okay. Didn't show your live notification. Oh, on YouTube? Really? Hold on. I mean, I am streaming to YouTube right now. Huh, that's weird. Okay, solve equals solution, solve.shuffle, numList, n2. The next thing we need to do is we need to recombine this stuff, right? So I'm pretty sure there's like a zip. There's a function in Python called zip. Python zip function. Okay, you know you're a programmer when you're writing code and forget the human concept of language and don't sound the words out in your head anymore. They just represent the data. And the letters don't seem to spell anything. What is the zip function in Python? The zip function is a built-in Python utility used to combine multiple iterable objects such as lists, tuples, or strings into a single iterable of tuples. Okay, let's take a look at an example. Okay, Ilion or Lion or LL1, you're making it complicated. Simple nested loops is fine, right? Just joined. Did we already try that? Hello, nice to see you here. I mean, I'm not really... I don't consider myself a good programmer, it's just I'm trying to learn more. Okay, Godslayer, you're doing LeetCode now. You were hacker, okay? So let's see. So we got join two tuples together, zip AB, and then this does what? X equals zip of AB. Use the tuple functions to display a readable version of the result. Print tuple X. Print tuple of X. So it looks like we've got a bunch of tuples in here. But that's not necessarily what we want. So, I mean, what if these are not tuples, but what if they're lists instead? So we got A and B still. Okay, so a nested loop with 2 inside printing the counter outside. 2 inside printing the counter outside. I try to avoid nested loops when I can, because my brain really doesn't jive with them very well. What the heck, is this your Tuesday stream? No, Nullsec, hello, nice to see you here. This isn't the Tuesday stream, this is a new stream. This is the Sunday stream where we do coding stuff. LeetCode, I guess, is what we're trying to do right now. So we're doing this problem right here. You're making it complicated. Well, I mean, just trying to get it done. Like, programmers can do things in a lot of different ways. Okay, so if we've got this, and we want to print out, we just want to print out X. What does it look like? Zip object. Okay, so print list of X. Yeah, you're welcome to do. You're welcome to try out these challenges along with us. Yeah. Okay, so these become tuples. So it looks like the zip is turning these into tuples, but we don't necessarily want the tuples. Tuple function to read. Let's see. So if we return it as a list, I mean, I guess we could write this as in like an append as well. So if we do X equals zip, and then new list equals, well, new list is just going to be empty, right? And then we can do a little for loop. For I in X, new list dot append, new list dot append I, and then at the end we'll print out new list. See what happens. What are the inputs again? So the inputs are, well, here's the challenge over here. The inputs are a list and the value n, which is the index at which the list is split into 2. What were we doing? W3 schools. Okay, so print new list. Huh. Oh, okay. So this is a tuple. Alright, so I guess for I in X, and then for for j in I, new list.append I. So we still haven't avoided like nested lists, but I think it should be okay this time. Okay, so we'll run it. This is still coming out as a tuple though. Okay, I think I'm gonna head out. Gonna see my favorite band in Chicago tomorrow. Will keep me up all night. Have a good one. Have a good one, Netmac. Nice to see you. Okay, got it. Right, it was my bad. I read your comment for the question in the IDE and I got confused. Oh, yeah, no worries, no worries. Okay, so what else could we do? How else could we do it here? So we want to get first element. So new list we can keep the same. We don't necessarily need to use zip in this case. So we could use like we could use a nested list, right? So for ij in AB, for ij in AB, new list dot append ij. Is this gonna work? I see the European techno talk inspired you, of course, of course. And yeah, Nullsec, I saw you in Panako Panko stream earlier. What kind of fun stuff were you talking about? I think you were talking about like Pebble and how he was trying to solve problems with Kubernetes, right? Why can't it open? It opens Quest and stuff. Are you logged into LeetCode right now? Oh, dual watching. Okay. All right. Let's see what happens when we run this. Just logged in. I mean, so 2 mean to unpack. Expected to what? Expected to. So we want to. I guess we could also keep like a counter. So new list equals new list, n equals 0, right? Because we're talking about the 0 element of each list, and then we can do for I in A, and then for for j in B. We do new list.append. For I and A, we knew new list.append. Pebble is the go, probably number 1470. What are we looking at? So this is problem list v2. So if you go over to array in array 1 in LeetCode Quest under like data systems and algorithms, you should see Q2, shuffle the array. I'm not too sure what number question that is. Segfault says Pebble is the GOAT. He's really good. He did pretty good. Punko had done the same box earlier in the week. She does pretty well too. Yeah, Punko's really good at doing network pen testing exercises. It's just that she doesn't do them as often because she's often doing her job that pays her money, which is doing 3D modeling stuff. But she's a really good network pen tester. Show the question. So the question is over here. I'm not too sure. I'm kind of confused why the link doesn't work for you, though. Okay, let's try asking on the web. So there should be like something that's very similar that was asked from like Stack Overflow, because it seems like a pretty easy question. So combine two lists into one list, alternating elements. Pythonic way to combine, interleave, interlace, intertwine. So this is 15 years ago. So what was 15 years ago? That was 2011. Stack Overflow from 2011. Okay, so I have two lists, the first of which is guaranteed to contain exactly one more item than the second. I would like to know the most Pythonic way to create a new list whose even index values come from the first list, and whose odd index values come from the second list. So list 1, list 2. Desired output is F, and then hello, and then O, and then world, and then O. Okay. This works but isn't pretty. So the solution, here's one day to do it by slicing, so it's like list 1, list 2. This might be Python 2. I mean, even if it is Python 2, it should work for Python 3 as well, right? Result equals none. None times list, length of list 1 plus length of list 2. So it's empty list times, what's going on here? Result blank blank 2 list 1, result 1 blank blank 2 equals list 2, result. So result is F hello 0 O world O. Here's one way to do it by slicing. Okay, so we sliced the lists into the correct configurations, and then so this is result, and then we skip by, wait, what's going on here? Result equals none times length of list 1 plus length of list 2. So we're basically populating the list first. Why can't we just make result an empty list? Why do we have to go through this whole thing? Equals list 1. I'm also a bit confused as like the order, because usually I would like put list 1 equals. Well, I mean, we could give this a try. Okay, so we got a result here. We got our two, theoretical lists with the names. New list equals, if we copy exactly the length of list 1 and list 2, but in this case it's not list 1, list 2, it's A and B. We can comment this out. And what are they looking for? Result blank blank 2 list 1. So that's A. So the even things we're taking from A, and then the odd things we're taking from B. Okay, Persona Management, thanks for doing these late night coding courses. They accent the evening security courses perfectly. Thank you, Persona Management. If you're getting something out of this, I'm happy. Okay, so we'll try printing out result. Well, new list, right? So this starts at the beginning and goes every 2, and this starts at the second item and goes every 2. And if we run the code, we get John, Jenny, Charles, Christy. Okay, so this is exactly what we're looking for. So this solution works. Let's just try to understand what's going on here. So new list equals none. So none times. Oh, okay. So we're populating the list. Segfaults is subscribed on at tier 1. Thank you very much, Segfaults. Let's give you a fun hack the planet. Thank you for the support.
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Okay, so we're populating new lists with empty elements. So empty elements times length of A and then length of B. So that ensures that we've got the right number of elements in the list. And then new list slice starting at the beginning until the end and then skipping by every 2. It's going to be from A. And new list starting at the second item and then skipping every second element is going to be from B. So A and then B. So basically the odd numbered items are going to be John, Charles, and Mike, and the even numbered elements are going to be Jenny, Christy, and Monica. And this is how we get this. I mean, it should work. So if we go back to what we have now, so we'll do our new list equals none elements times length of first and then length of second. Length of first plus length of second. Okay, and then we populate new list. Equals first and then equals second. So new list blank blank and then skip every 2 are going to come from first. And then new list starting with element 1 blank 2 blank blank 2. It's going to take from the second list. So the first list and the second list are going to have an equal number of elements. The odd numbers are going to take from first, and the even ones are going to take from second. So let's go ahead and print out the new list and see if we get what we are looking for. 1, 3, 2, 4. 1, 2, 3, 2, 4. So I think this is what we're looking for. So the first one from first, and then the first one from second, the second one from first, and the second one from second. Okay, so I think this is all we need to do. We just need to return new lists at the end. Okay, here's our code. We'll paste it into LeetCode. Although I'm sure there's a much more efficient way of doing this. I'm sure there's a much more efficient way of doing this if you're a person who's actually good at coding. Let's run the code. Mama Rolf, hello, nice to see you here. Can I propose a new Python method to check out here? A new Python method to check out? Yeah, you can propose a new Python method, sure. Probably a syntactically prettier method for sure. Probably. Did it not run? Let's run it. Check out the W3 page on the extend method. Yeah, let's do that. Extend. Python list extend method. Okay, add the elements of cars to the fruits list. Oh, wow. Okay, so if we... So apple, banana, cherry, and then car, BMW, Volvo. Okay. I mean, this works for the first exercise, not necessarily for the second one, but it's good to know that this exists. Thank you, Segfaults. Why does... Okay, so input nums equals 1122. Return new list. Why is it not... Why is it not accepting this? Okay, case 1, case 2, case 3. Case 2, case 3. Are they not happy that we're ignoring the end value? Hack the planet, hello, nice to see you here. Okay, so n is an integer, list is... length of first and then length of second. Incoming raid? Are we getting raided? Where's it coming from? Who's raiding? I guess I'll see it in just a second. Blaze Bits just raided the channel with 28 viewers. Thank you very much. Let's give Blaze Bits a shout out. Shout out Blaze Bits. Welcome to the stream. Hello, my name's the Shy Hat. We're currently doing some LeetCode problems. Why are we doing LeetCode problems? We want to get better at programming stuff. Well, specifically we're coding in Python right now. So why does this not want to...
Hack the planet! Hack the planet!
Blazebits, hello, nice to see you here. Blazebits is a very, very cool person who does security testing as a job. Please check out his channel. RNO Gumpy, hello, nice to see you here. You know what? Let me... RNO Gumpy, hey, what's up, man? You're a moderator on BlazeBits' channel, right? Let me reload this channel. Sorry, reload this challenge. Gotta verify we're human, huh? Gummy mod, best mod. I'll take your word for it. My name is Shyhead. I do cybersecurity content on Twitch and on YouTube, but we're currently trying to figure out why... Okay, LeetCode finally accepted my stuff. Okay, so I guess we'll submit this. Okay. So I mean, it's not the prettiest solution. It's probably not the fastest solution either, but it works. And that's the most important thing. I guess optimization is something we want to aim for later. We were just doing a challenge where we needed to rearrange... Well, we needed to split a list into two, and then rearrange the contents of the list. I'm not lead enough for LeetCode. Made jelly at your skills. No way. I'm sure you're decent at coding yourself, BlazeBits. I'm sure you run all sorts of Python scripts in your work. Okay, so let's go ahead and record our solution. So this is the shuffler. Okay, and then we'll record it in our write-up. Okay, we'll commit these changes, and we'll move on to the next challenge. Okay, this was accepted. I should probably jump back to the first problem so that we can actually submit the problem. Submit the solution, rather. Okay, so... Alright, that's done, and we can do the third one. So max consecutive. So this is a new thing. Let me know if you're able to access this, if you're logged into LeetCode. Okay, given a binary array nums, return the maximum number of consecutive ones in the array. So we're given an array that only has binary values, so it's like ones or zeros. Output 3. Okay, so we need to return the maximum number of consecutive ones. So it's always ones. So this would be 2, and then this would be 3. The first 2 digits or the last 3 digits are consecutive ones. The max number of consecutive ones is 3. So I mean, I guess what we would do is we would do like a for loop and keep track of how many ones we see in a row. And if it's ever broken, then we reset the counter. Okay, we'll figure it out. Alright, so let's copy the instructions. And then we'll start our write-up. So this one is Q3, right? This one's Q3. It's called max consecutive ones. Okay. Lone, hello, nice to see you here. I don't do much about Golang, but I found it interesting how it works across multiple platforms. I mean, here's the thing. If you don't want to write your LeetCode solution in Python, you can write it in any other language. So the great thing about LeetCode is that it lets you It lets you try your solution in a bunch of different languages. Not every language though, but a lot of popular ones. So if you wanted to write this in Java or in C++ or in JavaScript or C#, you can go ahead and try doing these in those as well. Maintain a streak variable. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Akash. Nice to see you here. Okay, so where's our write-up? Like a 6-length array. Hold on, let me do my setup here first, and then we'll get into the problem. Okay, so the URL where you can find the problem, the instructions, the concept, and the method of solve, which of course is going to be Python in this case. So the concept we're doing in this challenge is keeping a running tally inside of a for loop, or that's what I think it is. Okay, it's all new to me, but definitely gonna learn it. Yeah, I mean, learning how to code, at least in Python, which is probably one of the easier languages you can learn, it'll get you pretty far. No matter what kind of role you want to do in cybersecurity, they basically all are going to involve a bit of scripting, at the very least. Okay, so where's our challenge? It's over here. Okay, Akash says, in my final year of college, I invested lots of time in DSA and coding problems. I mean, typically people use LeetCode as a way to learn about coding interviews, or like technical interviews for development positions. I'm not necessarily using LeetCode for that. I'm just using LeetCode to learn a little bit better, learn to be a little bit better at coding in Python. Okay, so where are our instructions? Okay. And let's take a look at the problem. Let's create our code. So this is going to be, I'll call this one binary streak. Okay, so find max consecutive ones, self nums list integer to integer. So output an integer. So it's going to take in a nums parameter, which is going to be a list of integers, and it's going to output an integer. So return is going to be an integer. Okay, so entering length of array of 6 for the shuffle and array problem. Not like this one, but the previous one, it worked, right? I'm pretty sure the previous problem with the shuffle, it always assumes that the length of the list is an even number. Oh, okay. Let me reduce the volume of the music. Thank you. Okay, so find max ones. Maxing everyone. So streak equals 0. For I in nums, if I is equal to 1, then do something. If I is equal to 1, then streak plus equals 1. So streak, current, I mean, I guess we can keep track of current streak and max streak. Current streak equals 0. Max streak equals 0. So for IN numbers, if I equals 1, current streak plus equals 1. Okay, Lone says, with that code, put a 6 length array in it. I'm finding repeats on the first index. Okay, never got it. I'm still trying to solve the shuffle the array problem. Still trying to solve the shuffle the array problem. Okay. I mean, I'm sure you'll find the solution if you do enough research and some playing around. So what do we got? So current streak equals 0, max streak equals 0. For IN nums, if I equals 1, then current streak is increased by 1, else. Current streak equals 0. So current streak, I guess we'll do a comparison here as well. If current streak is greater than max streak, then max streak equals current streak. And then reset current streak to 0. And I guess we can do another comparison down here after everything else runs. After the for loop runs, if current streak is greater than max streak, then max streak equals current streak. Okay, can you reduce the music one more time? Why not on Vim or NeoVim? I mean, I'm not writing very long code. Typically, you would need to have the types of features you'd see on Vim or NeoVim when you're dealing with large code bases. The stuff that I'm dealing with is very, very short, so it doesn't really, I'm not really taking advantage of anything that like an IDE would offer. Emacs is better anyways. Learning curve and preference? Yeah, I mean, it's mostly preference. It's also, I don't need a lot of the features that Vim and NeoVim are going to offer me. Seems a bit verbose. Let's go ahead and run a test case. So test nums equals 0, 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 1, 1, 0, 0, like this. Okay, and solve equals solution. Oh, sorry, the last thing we need to do inside this function is to return max streak. So do solve dot find max consecutive ones with test nums. I've got it switched around. I've got switched around like greater than and less than. Oh, maybe. I tend to do that a lot. So if current streak, yes. If current streak is greater than max streak, yeah. Thank you very much for pointing that out. For some reason, my brain confuses the greater than and less than signs a lot. Thank you very much for following, Kenneth. Yay, thank you. Okay, let's see if it works. So Python 5. Okay, seems to be working. Let's change this around so that the biggest streak is at the end. So we'll add on 6. We'll add 7 to the end here. Okay, and then we'll run it again. Alright, so it seems to work. Whoa, we've got a lot of people watching right now. I'm surprised. But anyways, let's submit our code. So we're currently doing some LeetCoding right now with Python, and we're solving some challenges. So I think this is all we need to do. Paste this into the solution. Okay, and then we'll run the code. Okay, accepted. Great. So test 1 and test 2, so these both work. Okay, we will submit this. All right, seems to work. We can move on to the next thing. Wow, you cleared the challenge. Keep exploring. You've got this. Okay, so after you've completed all of the challenges in one of the sets, you can move on to the next set. So we've currently completed array 1, so we can move on into array 2. So what we're doing right now is we're doing LeetCode quests, which is... Okay, Akash says if you used max function inside the first if block, your code would have less lines. Oh, max? The max function? Hold on. Let me look this up. So Python max function, so it's a list function? It's not the true LeetCode experience. It needs to tell you all the way that your code is bad. Yeah, that's true. Compares the elements of the list and returns the maximum valued element. If the elements in the list are numbers, the comparison is done numerically, but if the list contains strings... Well, I mean, is the max function what we're looking for here, though? Because it seems like the max function isn't going to work in this case. Let's go back. Code 99, hello, nice to see you here. So max consecutive ones. We're not looking for the maximum number. We're looking for the max number of consecutive numbers, because it's a binary array. So in this case, we have to output 3, because this is the maximum number of consecutive ones. But Akash, if the max function works, could you paste in... Maybe paste in, like, what is it? Paste bin. Give us a paste bin of your code. And maybe we can check it out. Okay, but anyways, let's record the code we've got. Max of current streak in max streak in the if block. Okay, so the if block is here. Max of current streak in max streak. Max of current streak. So current streak. Yeah, I mean, I guess what we could do is we could populate like a list. We could populate a list after each one of these. So if current streak is greater than max streak, then append current streak to like max streak. Make max streak a I think I understand what you're trying to say. But anyways, let's record our solution over here. Okay, and then we can move on to the next series of challenges. So this one's going to be array 2. And we'll move on to, where is it? Okay, Code 99 says, Abi99 Rajput, my profile. Oh, nice to see. Yeah, nice to see, nice to see. Have you solved a lot of challenges, Code 99? Okay, so we've got 3 challenges here, 3 challenges here. Set mismatch, how many numbers are smaller than the current number, find all the numbers disappeared in an array. Alright. So let's see. Set mismatch. You have a set of integers s. Okay, so this is another list, which originally contains all the numbers from 1 to n. Unfortunately, due to some error, one of the numbers in s got duplicated to another number in the set, which results in a repetition of one number and the loss of another number. You are given an array integer nums representing the data status of the set after the error. Find the number that occurs twice and the number that is missing and return them in the form of an array. So we need to output a new list with the number that's repeated and then the number that's missing. Okay, it seems easy to explain. Let's create our walkthrough document. Okay, so it's Q1 set mismatch. As usual, we will record a bunch of different things, like the URL where we can find the challenge, the instructions, the concept, and the method of solving the challenge. Okay, so where's our... This is the URL here. If you want to try this out yourself, you should be able to access this if you're logged into LeetCode and you put in this URL. Okay, so we're just going to copy the instructions. And then paste this into our instructions here. So for the URL, you can find it here. So what is the concept? So the concept in this challenge is iterating over a list. We also need to find a duplicate element. So iterating over a list, find a duplicate element, and also find a missing element in a set. Okay. Alright, so we'll write this in Python. Let's go ahead and start our coding. So these are going to be part of array 2. And we're going to call this missing number.py. Okay. So we've got our starting code here. So class solution. We'll just paste this into our code window. And for some reason they like... Can somebody tell me why they have list as a... the word list capitalized here? In LeetCode? Because it really doesn't work for my Python compiler. Sorry, interpreter. Okay, so how are we going to tackle this problem? I guess we can write about it up here. In this challenge, we are given a list of numbers. List has one number duplicated and one number omitted from the set. The function has to return the duplicated number and the missing number as a list. LeetCode uses typing module for the list container. Agent TX, hello, nice to see you here. I've never heard of the typing module. Okay, Akash says I cannot send links in chat. Akash, why don't you try defanging your URL? So if you've got pastebin, so if you've got like http pastebin.com/something something, what you want to do is you want to defang this. So you can defang it by putting some square brackets around the dot, and then put some square brackets around the HTTP up until here. And this will get past the YouTube. This will get past the YouTube filter. You just need to do something like this. Okay, you did not have the typing module imported. It is used for proper identification of types. That's interesting. I haven't heard of the typing module. But the list, but it's apparently it turns lists into like a different something a little bit different, huh? Okay, you search for pydantic in typing, where you will find why list is used. Oh, okay, pydantic. That's funny. That's a funny pydantic. I mean, I'm sure there's a good reason. It's just that it's a bit unintuitive for me. Okay. So let's take a look at the examples. So example, input nums. So it's going to be 1 to x, right? You have a set of integers s, which really contains all the numbers from 1 to n. From 1 to n, okay? So unfortunately, due to some error, one of the numbers s got duplicated to another number in the set, which results in repetition. Okay, so Lone says, is this the next question? I did both the array ones. Okay, array 2, let's go. Yeah, there's 3. There's 3 problems in array 1, And there's also 3 problems in array 2. So this is array 2, question number 1. Here's the link if you want to take a look. Okay, so in this case, so set. So the numbers is going to form a set. The set is going to be the length of the length of nums. So set size. The set size is going to be the length of nums, and then we need to create the set. Set equals range set size. Is set isn't like a restricted keyword, is it? Okay, set equals range set size. And we'll just try printing it out. Print set. So we need to do like solve equals solution. And then we'll do solve dot find error nums. We also need to give like a sample set. Sample set equals like 1, 2, 3, 4, like that. Okay, agent TX says list mostly used when building backends. Oh, really? Okay, okay. I mean, that makes sense. So find error num sample set. Okay, and we'll see if the thing works. Python range 0 to 4. So we printed out the set. Set is range 0, 4. Range set size. So range set size is a function. The range function starts at 0, ends at 4. So the range function creates a list, right? So maybe we want to print set. Print set. Set is range of set size. But I expected, like, what did I expect? I expected 1, 2, 3, 4 when I printed out the set. But that's not what I got. Range doesn't return a list. Alphonse Psych? I'm not too sure how to pronounce your name. Range doesn't return a list. I mean, I know that we use range when we want to iterate over like a number. When we want to iterate over some numbers, we use the range function. But what do we want to do if we want to just create the numbers? So the set is... Maybe we just initialize set to an empty list, and then we just run like a for loop. So for I in range, set size, set.append I, and then print the set. call list on range. Call list on range. Okay. So I mean, I think this should work then, right? No? Okay. I forgot the colon. Okay, 0, 1, 2, 3. 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so we need to change this. So it's going to be 1 in set size so that it starts counting from 1 instead of 0. Okay, we'll try that again. 0, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Why doesn't it print out number 4? Hold on. Let's take a closer look at the range function. Set size plus 1. I guess doing set size plus 1 would work. But I think there might be something in range that will just get us what we want, right? Okay, so start, stop, step. Huh. Start optional integer specifying the start position to start. Which position to start default is 0. Stop required integer specifying at which position to stop not included. Okay. Step optional. Huh, I thought there would be... Oh well. Hey, ho ho ho, hello, nice to see you here. What is up? Okay. But anyways. Alright, this should work. So we get the full set here, and after we've defined the full set, then we can start doing our stuff. So we got the full set, and then we do the check. So this is going to be another... So our set is here. What's the best way to do this? Because we need to figure out which number is duplicated in the set and which number is omitted in the set. You already have the numbers as an entry. Why do you need to create the full set? So we're creating the full set because the list that we get in the challenge is going to have, well, it's going to have one number that's duplicated and one number that's missing, like this. So the 2 is duplicated and there's a missing 3. It's just that I forgot to do it in, well, I forgot to do it properly in the sample set. Okay, just iterate through the numbers and catch the duplicate. Iterate through the numbers and catch the duplicate. Yeah, I think that's, I mean, that's what we want to do. So I guess we can set up like the duplicate value here. Duplicate equals 0. We'll just initialize it at 0. I guess we can just call this dupe to make it easier to read. So dupe and missing. We need to figure out which number is duplicated and which number is missing. So the first thing we need to do is figure out which number is duplicated. So there's got to be, there's like a list, there's a list function, which is like number of something something, right? List function Python number of elements. With same value? number of elements with same value. Okay, how do I count the occurrences of a list item? Sure. Stack Overflow from 16 years ago. Use set, okay. So given a single item, how do I count occurrences of it in a list in Python? So if you want a single items count, use the count method. So count 1. So count of 1. Okay, so for I in set, for I in set, we run for I in set dot count on I. I guess we do if set count of I is equal to 2, then we populate dupe equals I. So that's figuring out which number is duplicated, right? Nano like a boss. Freedom Dow, hello, nice to see you here. Set equals set nums. Set equals set nums. You'll get a set of unique numbers. Use set nums. Oh. Yeah, I mean, if there's a specific function that does it, then that's great too. Thank you, Agent TX49. Set equals set nums. So set equals set function. But set equals set nums. I'm not too sure if. Well, I mean, I guess it would give you the correct value. What we have here works okay as well. So figure out which number is duplicated, and then figure out which number is omitted. Figure out which number is omitted. I mean, this is basically the same thing, but it's going to be if set.count of I is 0, missing equals I. And finally, we'll do print dupe and then missing. Okay, we'll see if this works. Sum the set number and subtract it from the length of the array, you will get the missing numbers. I mean, there's a bunch of different ways we could do a lot of these problems, especially the easier level ones. Inconsistent use of spaces and tabs. Okay, so this is line 18. Oh, okay, here's my... Yeah, there it is. Okay, doing great. As you learn, yeah, I'm just trying to reason through all the stuff I'm doing. So 0, 0. That's not it. So dupe equals 0, missing equals 0. For I in set, if set count of I is 2, then dupe is populated. If set count of I equals 0, Okay, your numbers you passed don't have duplicates. The numbers you passed don't have duplicates. Oh, the numbers. Hold on. No, I mean the numbers do have duplicates in here. So there's two twos. So it should pick up on this. So for I and set, if set count of I is 2. What am I missing? So I guess we can debug this a little bit by doing just print I. So for I and set, print I. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4. What? Oh, no. We're using the wrong thing. Okay. We're using the wrong thing. We're using set, and we should be using nums. Nums.count. Actually, wait. The I in the set is not duplicate. Yeah, okay. So if nums count, what was it? For I and... It should be for I and nums. So we're iterating over nums. And we're comparing against set. No. No. Okay. We're iterating over the set. And we're comparing against nums. Sorry, everybody. I screwed that up. Okay, now it works. So now we know that we've got the duplicate 2s and we're missing a 3. So this is working out as expected. Okay, Agent TX49, so where are you from? I'm in Canada. So I'm a member of the Vancouver cybersecurity scene, and I help people try to get into cybersecurity. I also teach myself tech skills because it's important to know the tech skills to teach about the tech skills. Okay, so don't mean to interrupt, but which LeetCode is this? I'd like to give it a shot. Yeah, so we're currently doing LeetCode Quest, and we're doing this problem over here. You might not be able to access it unless you finish the first set of questions, but I'm not sure. I'm not completely sure. Okay, so the last thing we need to do is we need to create the solution set. So maybe this solve set is an empty array, but we need to populate it. So solve set.append. Solve set.append dupe, and then solve set.append missing. So the last thing we do is we return solve set. Okay, so agent says, I'm trying to start with cybersecurity, so can you guide me on how to begin? How to begin and where I should start. Yeah, I mean, I've got a little guide over here. So get into cyber. So there's a guide over at the Reddit that talks about how to get into cybersecurity. I can shortcut you a little bit by asking you, Agent 49, what kind of job do you want to do in cybersecurity? Because the goal the role that you want to do in cybersecurity really affects how you get into cybersecurity, because training for different jobs in cybersecurity are going to be very different from each other. Okay, so this returns nothing. I guess we can print that out. Two, 3. Okay, so I think this should be okay. This should be fine for this challenge. Okay, we'll run it. Accepted. Okay, so case 1, case 2. Great, it works. Okay, we'll submit this. Okay, Agent 49 says pen testing or most likely ethical hacking. Pen testing and ethical hacking are kind of the same stuff, right? Time limit exceeded. What? Time limit exceeded. 44 to 49 test cases passed. Huh. Wait, did I not pass the... Did I not pass? Hold on. Submit. Is this too slow? But Agent 49, we've got a bunch of like education resources over at the HackerFrogs GitHub. If you want to get into like network pen testing or web app pen testing, this is what you'd like to look for over here. So the other thing I'd ask you is, what do you already know? So if you want to learn about network pen testing, you probably want to learn stuff about Linux first, about like basic computer networking stuff. And if you want to learn about web app hacking, you need to learn the basics of web apps, like how they work, and basics about like, you know, HTTP requests, all that other good stuff. Okay, TLE happens, that's why we use set and sum of elements in set rather than subtracted from length of nums. Yeah, maybe. Okay, let's modify the code a little bit. So I guess in this case we don't really need set size. So we just get rid of this. And then we just do set equals set of nums. Let's see if the script still works. Nope. Cannot access local variable set. Okay, so I think in this case, because we're using the set function, we need to rename set to something else. We'll just rename this to like full set. Okay, so if you get really good with locks, then that's like half of the paid pen tests. Now, I mean, I don't know about that. If you're talking about like physical pen testing, I've talked to a few physical pen testers, and I've listened to a few physical pen testers do talks about what they do. Most of the time, they're very rarely picking locks. It is something they do every once in a while, but most of the time they find other solutions. This found... the set function doesn't seem to be working. Set of nums. Yeah. Okay, let me look up the set function really quick. Python set function. Okay, the set function creates a set object. The items in the set list are unordered. So they will repeat. Oh, that's a problem. Okay. Create a set containing fruit names. Set function creates a set object. The items in the set list are unordered. Okay, so the parameter is initerable. Optional, a sequence collection. Okay, what field do you think would be good for a beginner? I mean, it's hard to get a first job in cybersecurity that is doing pen testing. It's not impossible, but it's difficult. Full set equals set. I think we still want to do the length of the nums list, right? Set doesn't store duplicates. Set doesn't store duplicates. Okay, we'll go on for another 60 minutes or so. Shoot, he's using Nano. Sorry if I'm not using the correct text editor, guys. You're all banned to Emacs. Alright. Okay, let's see if... InObject is not an iterable. InObject is not an iterable. So what we're doing, we're trying to run the set function. Nums. I guess we should probably just print that full set. Over here. 1, 2, 4. 1, 2, 4. That's not the full set, though. Vim hater? Cypher, hello, nice to see you here. No more Vim. No more Vim? Okay, it would be really easy if you use the LeetCode website's text editor. I mean, that's not exactly what we're doing here, unfortunately. Pen testers do not care about IDEs. Right now, LLMs are one of the biggest changes. Autonomous end-to-end attack chains. Yeah, I mean, use whatever text editor works for you. I'm not going to gatekeep on that. So apparently, using the set function isn't going to work in this case. So I guess we'll go back to what we were doing before. So like set size. And we'll just go back to calling this set. Actually, we'll just keep on calling it full set because it's already called full set in the other parts. Did you sort in the list one? Did you try directly using set? I mean, if we directly use set, the function on nums, then we get something that looks like this, and that's not the full set. I'm looking for the full set of numbers that we're supposed to do, and then compare that. So full set equals empty list, and then we populate it with, what was it again? Populate the full set. For I in range 1 set size +1. But then again, we're going to go, we're still going to run into the problem where we're not able to, we're not going to be able to finish the problem in time, because the code we have right now runs into a problem. It says time limit exceeded. So 43 out of 49 test cases passed, because we took too long running the code. So we need to find some way to make it faster. Okay. But how do we? Yeah, we're trying it out. Hopefully we can solve at least 1 or 2 more challenges before we run out of time here. Actually, let's just do like a search. Create set of numbers equal to specific size. All numbers included in order. Included in order. Is that, yeah, I think that was a dictionary that we were looking at. Can we use a hash map? Okay, what? Oh, I guess we should specify Python, because otherwise it's not going to know. Create a list of numbers within a given range in Python. Okay. Yeah, that was a dictionary. So the task of creating a list of numbers within a given range involves creating a sequence of integers that starts from a specified starting point and ends just before the given endpoint. Okay, so we could use range. Range generates an iterator that produces numbers when it's within a specified range. Okay, it is highly efficient as it doesn't create the entire list up front, making it more memory friendly. I mean, we might be able to use range. Maybe we can use range instead of the full set. So we'll go back and then we'll ignore all this stuff about creating the full set. So here, get rid of that. The set size we can still keep. Okay, we don't need to populate the full set in this case. So figure out which number is duplicated. So for I in range, so for I in range, what was it? Start at 1 and then stop at set size +1. Okay, if nums.count, everything else stays the same. So the slow part is probably the num.count, not the set creation. I mean, the set creation probably takes up a bunch of time as well. But Epistemic Anarchist, hello, nice to see you here. Hope you're having a good time. That requires iterating all the numbers in the original array for every candidate number. So slow. I mean, is there like a much faster way of doing it though? The set creation is one-off. Set creation. So set 1, set size, length of numbers, length of the numbers list. Well, I mean, let's see what happens if we run this. 2, 3. So this is the correct number. These are the correct numbers from the sample set. we're trying to identify which number is duplicated and which number is missing. Okay, so this should be slightly faster. So we'll try using this code for LeetCode and see if we'll see if it works. Sort the list, then go through detecting the missing and the dupe. Hold on. I just want to figure out if our slightly updated code is going to do the job or not. The problem isn't that it doesn't work, the problem is that it is slow. A little bit too slow. So if we run it on the test cases, these are both accepted. So test case 1 and test case 2. And if we submit this, is it still too slow? Oh, it still has time limit exceeded. Okay, so we need to find some way to increase the speed of this even more. So let's take a look at what. Let's take a closer look at what Anarchist was talking about. The slow part is likely the num.count. The num.count, not the set creation. So that requires iterating all the numbers in the original array for every candidate number so slow. Sort the list. Sort the list, then go through detecting the missing and the dupe. Okay, so sort the list. Okay, so we'll go back into this. Well, I mean, the list is already sorted, but let me take a look at like a closer look at what the sort function does. Python sort function. Okay, as a list method, sort organizes the elements of a list and takes an optional reverse parameter that can be set to true or false. The list sort method. Let's take a closer look. Okay, so basically it looks like it's putting stuff in alphabetical order. So I mean, this list comes pre-sorted. I'm pretty sure the list comes pre-sorted. What was the actual task? As I said, I may have misunderstood. Yeah, so let's go over it one more time. Oh, that's not the right one. We're looking at this. Description. Okay, you have a set of integers s, which originally contains all the numbers from 1 to n. Unfortunately, due to some error, one of the numbers in s got duplicated to another number in the set, which results in the repetition of one number and the loss of another number. You are given an integer array, nums, representing the data status of the set after the error. Find the number that occurs twice and the number that is missing and return them in the form of an array. Sam, hello, nice to see you here. What is up? Okay, so the length of numbers could be all the way up until 10 to the 4th power. So, I mean, we could deal with some really large... some really, really large lists. That input you failed on wasn't sorted. Was it not? Was it not sorted? Okay, let's submit one more time. Many inputs are not sorted. So we failed because of time limit exceeded. So in this case, numbers was a really large list. Okay, so if we're assuming that one of these numbers is duplicated and one of these numbers is missing, then what is the faster method? Okay, I failed many times like that because they were not sorted. So do we just sort? I mean, does this speed up if we just sort them first? Sort the list and then iterate should help. Did you find the missing one with the set? What did we do? Oh, we skipped the set. So what we did instead was when we were doing our iterator. So we just did for I in range instead of looking over the set. So I guess the other thing we could do in here is we could break here. So we could run two different like for loops, and then we could break after we find each one to make it a little bit easier on ourselves. Big raid? Oh no, who's raiding this time? TwitchCat is going for us to deblow up. We seen, hello, nice to see you here. I've gotten a couple of raids today on Twitch. That's why the numbers are up. But welcome in. Big raid. Are you nullsec? Are you just going over to bigger streams and redirect them over here? Okay, so for I in range, so we populate dupe and then we break. And then we do another one for I in range 1 set size +1. After we find the missing value, we break. And this might be a little bit faster. Oh, okay. Answering the question, I did talk to Blaze. I talked Blaze into it earlier. Okay, thank you very much, nullsec. Much appreciated. Okay, so sample set. This should be a faster version of the script. This should be a faster version of the script. Doesn't matter if we sort it though. Is sorting it going to make it faster? So that still comes out. Instead of splitting, don't run nums.count twice, that'll double the speed. Nums.count? Wait. Instead of splitting, don't run nums.count twice, that'll double the speed. I mean, we are doing it twice, but nums.count needs to iterate through the entire list. It's the slow part. Okay. So just do num count equals nums.count, and then checking either for true or for false. Okay. Now should we do this? So we'll do one here. Num count equal nums.count. So for iron range, we set up something just for this. Snow Cone! Wow! You're raiding with a party of 29. I was going to raid you. I was planning on raiding you, Snow Cone. Snow Cone is Snow Cone, how do you describe yourself? Let us know. But I'll give you a shout out. Shout out Snow X Cone. There you go. Yeah, I don't know what I'm. I'm a Snow Cone. Okay. But Snow Cone's viewers, hello, nice to see you here. My name's the Shy Hat. I do cybersecurity content over on Twitch and on YouTube, and I am currently working on LeetCode. We're doing some LeetCode problems over here. It's part of a thing called LeetCode Quest. I described her as awesome. Snow Cones is awesome, but yeah, you had some big news on your stream today. I didn't get a chance to tune in because I was doing my own stream. Coding art and the occasional piano stream. Yeah, she's currently... Snowcone, would you say that you're currently doing LeetCode problems? Let me know. Let me know. But yeah, we're trying to do this LeetCode problem here. The Python code we wrote is too slow. So for iron range, num count equals nums.count of I. And then we can do our checks. So if nums.count is equal to 2, then that's our duplicate. Duplicate equals I, and then we break out of that. And then we can do this one. If nums.count equals to 0, that's our missing number. We assign missing to I, and then we break. So we break out of this. No, wait, this doesn't work. Okay, Snowcone says, I truly don't know what I'm doing right now. I hope to see you streaming more. I hope to see you streaming now, Snowcone, because I miss your cozy streams. I miss your co-working streams. It'd be nice to be able to co-work with some people working in the background as well, kind of like what we're doing over here. Okay, but Snowcone, can you give me a suggestion? So what we're doing here is we're doing this LeetCode problem where we need to go through a list of numbers and then figure out which number is duplicated. There's one number that's duplicated and there's one number that's missing from our set of numbers. We need to figure out how to do this in a very quick manner. You can't be breaking on finding one only. Yeah, we can't. We want to break eventually. So I guess we can do like another if. So if dupe and missing. If dupe and missing, which means that they're populated. Then break. Okay. I remember this problem. Oh, okay, that's great. Ian Douglas says, are the numbers in the set always sequential? If so, you can calculate the sum of all the numbers from 1 to n and then compare against the sum of what's in the set. The sum of what's in the set, the difference will tell you what's missing or duplicated. Oh, you know, that sounds smart. That does sound smart, Ian Douglas. So, so you sort the lists. Well, I mean, you don't need to sort the list. You just need to sum the list, right? Not in C anymore, not and. Oh. So if dupe and missing break, let's see if the code works. Which LeetCode number problem? I need to read the problem again. Okay, so it still works. I'm not too sure what problem this is. Actually, set mismatch. Maybe I can search this. So LeetCode problem set mismatch. So this is they don't tell you. Why does USA dominate in innovation? That's hard to say. Performing for security evaluation. Uses security service. The page is displayed while the website verifies that you're not a bot. Okay, I'm not a bot. Thank you. So set mismatch. That's 645. I think I did the one with the duplicate. We're not the omission one. Maybe you are a bot. Maybe, well, maybe I managed to fool the system anyways. Okay, so we'll try what we have now, and we'll see if it's fast enough. Okay. Sorry, bad math on my explanation. Nums 1 through 5 sum to 15. If you set sums to 14, you're missing a 1. If your sum is 19, then you duplicate it to 4. Actually, I'm an android. But Ian Douglas, yeah, I mean, I understand that does sound like a clever solution. Yeah, but I just want to figure out if my solution is gonna be okay, because I need to speed up the solution in order to finish the challenge. Selcon says, I think that guy's solution is good. Use a set to see which one is duplicated. Then he can subtract from the expected sum. Yeah, so this still does time limit exceeded. Okay, so let's take a look at Ian Douglas's solution. So sorry, bad math on my solution. Nums 1 through 5 sum to 15. If your set sums to 14, you're missing a 1. If your sum is missing 19, you've duplicated to 4. Okay. So which is ON in mem and speed? I feel like there's a problem where speed, but memory, I can't think of it yet. Yeah, I mean, the thing is that we need to implement the solution for like an arbitrary length of sequential numbers. It's both missing and duplicated. That solution won't work. I mean, there might be a faster way to do this. We tried to... The thing about my solution, or the solution that we have right now, which is really slow, is that we're running the nums.count method, and if we're iterating over like a really, really big list, then it's going to take a long, long time. So if it's missing and duplicated, then the solution won't work. I mean, I think we've got something. If we can at least figure out one, then it might be something worth looking into. Let's see. So let's like Python sequential number list. Lone says, "I got it." What was the key part? What was the key part of your script? Are you doing the same one we're doing? So Python sequential number list. Find missing. Find missing number. Okay. Okay. Please explain. Please explain, Lone. Define a function named findMissing that takes input as a list as input. Initialize a set that contains integers between the minimum and maximum values. Okay. Efficient way to find missing elements in an integer sequence. So, I mean, this might lead to something good. Oh, that's really bright. Hold on, let me see if I can turn the brightness down. Okay, I used list count to find the duplicate, and then I... Light mode, I love it. Thanks, Snowcone. I used the list count to find the duplicate, and then I used set data type to get find the missing number. So list count... Yeah, so list count is only for the duplicate. Okay, and then you used set data type to get the missing number using range. I looped through a range and then checked using not in OP. Not an OP. Not an operator. Okay, not an operator. I guess the first thing you said was that you use the count to find the duplicate. So if we find the duplicate, for example, we find out that 2 is the duplicate. Okay, Ashley the Bear. Hello, nice to see you here. Ashley, we're doing LeetCode, which is something that you do a lot of too, right? Mm-hmm. Appended the list. We love LeetCode. Yeah, we sure do. We sure do. Okay, so I think you're supposed to use XOR. XOR? How do we use XOR? I got my LeetCode hat and t-shirt. That's awesome, Ashley the Bear. Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Lone says not in operator. Not in operator. Loop through a range and then checked using not in operator. You know what? Going to work now. Have a good stream. Thank you very much, Ashley the Bear, and thank you very much for rating in. Much appreciated. Okay. Lone, if you could give us your solution in a paste bin, maybe we could take a look at it, because we've been working on this thing for a while. Use 2 loops, one for dupe finding, and the second loop uses not in OP. Okay, a loop with the list count is going to be n times 2, okay, and which is why your current code times out. Does that work? Can I ask why you're doing it in Python? Python is the language I'm most familiar with, so that's why I'm coding my solution in Python. The problem here is that n squared. Oh yeah, okay. Okay. So lone code peeps are a different sort, I guess so. How do I use pastebin? Yeah, so the way you use pastebin is you go to pastebin, you paste in your code. So for example, test, paste in your thing, and then go down to create new paste. After it verifies that you're not a bot, then it'll give you a link. What you want to do is you just want to grab that new link and then paste it into a Twitch chat. I'm pretty sure people on Twitch can paste in their links. It's just that people on YouTube can't. So my solution is still too slow. Oh. I mean, that's not pastebin, though. No, I mean, I'm not gonna... Whoa! Howling AF has rated the channel with 19 viewers. Thank you very much. We've had a lot of, Yeah, Lone, it's gonna need to be pastebin. Howling AF. What? Let's give a shout out to Howling AF. Shout out Howling AF. There you go. But what do you do, Howling AF? Are you a cybersecurity streamer? Let me check the InfoSec streamers. Oh, okay, you're a LeetCode streamer. That's awesome. That's awesome. Okay, let me take a look at the pastebin. You're a LeetCode Andy. That's awesome. Yeah, no. Okay, so Lone, why don't you paste in not the link for the LeetCode problem? Paste in your code if you want to show us. LeetCode Monkey, by the way. You know, Howling AF, maybe you can give us a suggestion as to how to do this problem here. So this is problem, what is it? Hold on. Set mismatch. Okay. Let me get the number one more time. LeetCode set mismatch. What is an Andy? Andy is basically someone who does something. So if you're a LeetCode Andy, okay. I see your code. All right, let's take a look at the code. Okay, so what's going on? F it, I'm opening up LeetCode and doing this problem with you. Thank you. That's the spirit, yeah. Okay, you can open submissions without completing them, right? You can open submissions without completing them. Well, I mean, if you submit, it's going to do like a bunch of test cases. But if you just run it, then I'm interested in your XOR strategy. Yeah, snow cones. If you can explain what the XOR solution is, that the same problem? Is it? So nums is a list, and we output a list of integers. Okay. So set s equals set nums. Okay. L equals an empty list. N equals 0 for I in nums. if nums.count of I is less than 1, so that's going to be 0, then l.append I. Okay, so we append the missing one first. So the missing number, no wait, it's greater than 1. Okay, so this is looking for the duplicate. So the duplicate gets appended to the list. And then for I in range, 1 length of nums, if I not in S. If I not in S, so the set nums, okay, then l.append break if length of L is equal to 1, l.append length of nums. Length of nums. Return L. Okay, so let's catch up with chat. So usually XOR makes it easy to detect an omitted number. Like if you have numbers 1 to n, and then 1 minus n, and then -1 minus n with 1 missing, the missing number will be the XOR result, but that doesn't handle the duplicate. Mumi Jumala, hi, nice to see you here. I think it's best to just sort and look at the consecutive numbers. Okay, Snow says, oh wait, never mind, the duplicate XORs itself. Okay, Lone says, the last if is if the extra number is not in the set. Oh, if the extra number is not in the set. I mean, the extra number has to be in the set though. So XOR 2 passes. So because it's duplicated in the screwed up set, but not in the 1 minus 1. Okay, so let's see. Ian Douglas says, the summing approach will find a duplicate or missing number, but not both. With the single math calculation, no scanning through the data if you know the highest number. If we know the highest number, I mean, Ian Douglas, that it sounds like a good plan, but what would the code look like? Okay, there isn't a solution with O, N, and runtime O1 memory. It is getting kind of fast. Okay, so I think we can omit this part of the code, right? So if length of n is equal to 1, we can just get rid of this, and then in the end just return this. So what this solution is doing, n equals 0. Where is n used here though? I don't see n in our for loops and stuff. Hold on. I accidentally copy pasted some stuff. Okay, I used the summing math method and it worked for me, but I don't know if I would use that math if it makes... I don't know how I would know to use that math if that makes sense. Okay. Oh, we didn't save it. Hold on. It's one of those I've heard of this problem before type of things. Okay. You know what? You know, Snow talked about something with XOR to find a missing number. XOR find missing number. Nah, ignore me. I mean, if we can make finding the missing number faster, then we might be able to finish the challenge in correct time. if we're using memory, I just throw it into the set and then iterate over the range. I mean, the problem is that we're not getting the solution done quick enough, and that's why we're not able to pass some of the tests. Given an array with size n-1 with distinct integers in the range 1 to n, this array represents a permutation of the integers 1 to n with the one element missing. Oh, you know what? The problem... Yeah, I see the problem. The problem is because we've got one number missing, and we also have a duplicate number. Actually, maybe we can still do this. Maybe we can still do this after we find the duplicate number. So we'll save this. So the first thing we need to do is we need to find the duplicate number. So find out which number is duplicate. We can do it like this. And then the second part, figure out which number is missing. For finding duplicate numbers easily, you can just use a set. You can just use a set. Yeah. I mean, so this part, figuring out which number is missing, we need to remove. How do we remove something from a list? Python remove item from list by value. Okay, is there a simple way to delete a list element by value? Removing list items. Okay, so I want to remove a value from the list if it exists in the list, which it may not. It may not. A.index 6, index 6, del A B, the above gives the error. So I have to do this. To remove the first occurrence of an element, use list.remove. List.remove. So remove something. The first element, to remove all occurrence of an element, use list comprehension. Okay, I think in this case we just want to remove one element from the list so that it becomes just a list with one missing element. So we remove one of the duplicates and then we're left with the list with one missing element, right? So dot remove. Remove the dupe. So nums dot remove dupe. And then use an XOR operation to find the missing number. Okay, you're calling it a set but using a list. Calling it a set. Where was it? Set size, solve set. I don't think we're using solve set anymore. Sorry, this was part of a... Let's call this solve list then, just to make it more explicit. Okay, so now we've got a list of numbers with one missing number. Okay, thank you very much. Datwin Phoc. Dat Win Phoc. I don't know how to pronounce the name. It's Vietnamese. But welcome and thank you very much for subscribing on YouTube. Thank you. Okay, you could use a list too. I mean, yeah, we need to return a list at the very end. So return solve list. So let's look into this XOR operation. So find the missing number we were looking at here. Okay, so we're looking at Python. So missing number array. So n equals length of the array plus 1. Iterate 1 to n and check. Oh, we're still iterating though. Iterate from 1 to n and check if the number is present for I in range. Found equals false. Weren't they trying to introduce a method where we use XOR though? Liquid Cake says, I don't know as if you can get it with XOR here, unless there's some crazy math you can do with it for the sum and XOR, but sum and XOR are kind of the same thing, so I'm not convinced. Okay, better approach using hashing on time and on space. This approach uses a hash array or a frequency array to track the presence of each number. Sorry, ignore my XOR suggestion. I was trying to think of the most optimal solution, but just do a simple solution. I think what we need to do is we need to find a solution that is very, very quick, because we're losing on timeout for some of the test cases. Okay, so let's do, like, let's just Google quickest way Python find missing number from list. Okay, my sort solution runs in 0 milliseconds in Rust. Can I see your solution one more time? Okay, so what the AI gives us a suggestion over here. So what is this? Define a function named findMissing that takes in the list as input. Initialize a set that contains all integers between the minimum and maximum values of the input list. Subtract the set containing the input list from the set created in step 2 to get the missing integer. Sort the list and return it. Sort the list and return it. I mean, I think this looks good. This looks good. So initialize a set that contains all the integers. That only works if you know what n is. Okay, so what we have here, right? We've got let's just pretend we've got a very short list. So the sample set here is 1, 2, 2, 4, which means that the 2 is duplicated and the 3 is missing. So if we so if our sample set is this, and then we find the duplicate and remove it, then the modified set would be 1, 1, 2, 4. If we've got like a full set, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4. So if we sum the modified set, in this case, we would get 6, 7. we would get a result of 7. Ooh, 7 is the sum. Or is it? 7 is the sum. Right? And in this case, it would be 1, 2, 3, 4, so that's 7 plus 3, so 10 is the sum. So if we subtract 7 from 10, then we get the result of 3, and then we know that the missing number is 3, right? Cybersecurity Bob Ross, is that what I am? Okay, is this written in Python? Also, hi Shai, how are you doing? I'm doing all right. We're writing this in Python, yeah. I think this should work. This should work. It should be faster. The problem is that we need to find the duplicate number first. So remove the duplicate number, and then we'll define missing as some nums some something minus some nums. So sum of range. Oh, range is not an actual list. My sort then iterate method. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much, anarchist. Let me take a look. XOR is the fastest ever for this one, and second is set, and third is the sum method. Okay, so first I'm gonna try to figure out if this method works. So sum range, sum 1 range, no. Range 1 set size plus 1. I don't know. I don't know if this is going to work. But the XOR operation, we're not doing that stuff anymore. Okay. We will run the script. Okay, so we get this. We still get the same thing. So because we still get the same thing, this tells me that it's working. So okay, Snowcone says, I think your issue is that nums.count is you're running out on a loop. Yeah, I mean the thing is that this part is going to take a long time. So figure out which number is duplicated, because we need to run nums.count as an iterator, as in like a iterated over. But we can also break out of this, right? So after we find it, we can break. Okay, I guess you don't need to do the full sort, just move the numbers, and you'll know that you found the duplicate when it's already there. But I suspect sort is still faster, but it's because it's optimized. Okay, let's see if the code runs fast enough to do the test cases. And then we can take a look at everybody else's. Code. Okay, so we attempted this. Let's submit the new code. Okay, and we'll run it. So this should pass the test cases. Well, the first 2 test cases. And then we'll run it, we'll submit it, and then run it on all the other test cases. Did we pass, or did we time out? We passed! We passed! That's awesome, okay. So the first part here is slow. So the slow part is figuring out which part is duplicated, because we have to iterate over the list with, you know, nums.count. But the second part is really fast, because we're just doing some simple math. So the problem is, well, I mean, if we were able to find like the duplicated number really fast, that would be much nicer. But let's take a look at somebody else's solution. So Anarchist, he gave us his code. Whoops, that's not it. His code is over here. Okay, Snowcone says try using a set. It's a bit simpler to find a duplicate. Just add each number to a set and see, and if it's been seen before, you know it's a dupe. Okay, maybe use the formula to sum the numbers in Google. Okay, let's just copy all this. It's got some debugging output, so if you run it, it's easy to understand the logic. Okay, let's go back. So let's try to understand what's going on in here. So the numbers are here, sure. So there's an extra 5. And missing 2. So dupe equals missing equals none. So we initialize both of these to none. Expected equals 1. Expected equals 1. For num and nums, printf expected found number if number equals expected. Expected plus, well, okay. Iterate expected. Continue. If number, else if number equals expected minus 1, found the duplicate. Oh, interesting. So we start at 1, and then we check against the expected value, so it's 1 and then 2 and then 3. Okay, that makes sense. It doesn't handle the edge case of the last number being the missing one, so it needs a check at the end for that. Else found missing, so this is actually pretty clever. I think this is pretty cool. Let's save this out, and then we'll run it. Okay, expecting 1 found 1, expecting 2 found 3. So this is the missing one. So the missing one is 2 because 3 was the thing that was in its place. Okay, expecting 4 found 4, expecting 5, expecting. Okay, so expecting 6 found 5. That identifies the duplicate. Okay, it's like he sorted the array and checked if the current number plus 1 is equal to the next number means it's missing 1, or it's the ON linear. This is sorted. This is sorted for the sorted list. Yeah, I mean, I think you have to sort the list first in order to do this, otherwise it doesn't work. Hello, Mr. Head. What is up? Hope you're having a good day. All right, so let's go ahead and. I like Anarchist's solution. It's very nice. But I guess for my write-up, I'll submit the solution that worked for me. But I do think that Anarchist's solution is very good. Nullsec says, passing out, Shy, thanks for the stream. Thanks, Nullsec, and thank you for directing people to raid in. Thank you. But, Snowcones, are you still here? Thank you very much for raiding in, Snowcones, and I very much appreciate you sticking around to help us with our coding challenges over here. This is your bread and butter, right? Okay, so for each one of our challenges, we do a little write-up. And we record our solutions. Okay, unfortunately, this is going to be the last challenge we do today. I guess we can take a look at what's going on in the next challenge, in the next Let's see. So set mismatch, how many numbers are smaller than the current number? Okay, so what's this challenge? So given the array nums, for each nums... Okay, so each nums item, find out how many numbers in the array are smaller than it. That is, for each nums I, you have to count the valid number of j's, such that j is not equal to I, and nums j is less than nums I. Return the answer in array. Okay, for example, what do we got? If we got numbers 8, 1, 2, 2, 3, the output is 4, 0, 1, 1, 3. So for nums 0, 8, there exist 4 smaller numbers than it, so it's 1, 2, 2, 3. Ah, okay. So how many numbers are smaller than this number in the rest of the list? So this would be 4, this would be 0, because there's no other number smaller than 1. There is 1 number smaller than 2, 1 number smaller than 2, and 3 numbers smaller than 3. Okay. I was so invested here I forgot to sub. Thank you very much, Godslayer. Thank you. Alright, let's go ahead and see if there are any other people who are streaming on infosecstreams.com, which is the list that I'm on, and a bunch of other InfoSec creators. So it looks like I'm the only person who's streaming on there. Okay. Who else is on from Twitch? Does anybody have a suggestion on who to raid? So somebody who's doing like LeetCode, or actually, let me do like a search for LeetCode. Pick a number and check what the rest numbers. I don't see anybody who's streaming LeetCode right now. I search for LeetCode and I'm the only person that shows up. That's kind of it's interesting. Okay, so cybersecurity Valkyrie is on. Configuring my unique AI assistant, meet Callie. Let's take a look at what she's doing. So as far as I know, this person is working in cybersecurity. But we need to we need to wait through the ads here. Okay, just a second, everybody. But yeah, thank you very much to everybody who rated today. So SnowX Cones and BlazeBits and what was the name of the person who does LeetCode a lot? Can somebody jog my memory? Howling AF, yeah. Okay, so we got somebody who is creating a chatbot. An AI assistant, okay. Alright, so we'll raid into cybersecurity Valkyrie to pass on the love. Are we done? Was it finished? Yeah, we finished the challenge. We finished the challenge and then we moved on to the next one. But yeah, if you want to know when I'm going to be streaming next, so today is Sunday, and we're going to be doing a co-working session on Tuesday. I'm going to be learning C programming, but the rest of you can do, well, you guys can co-work on whatever you guys are doing. So that's going to be on Tuesday. That's the next one. We're going to be doing regular cybersecurity streams on Wednesdays and Fridays. So we're going to be doing demonstrations. We're going to be doing education stuff. Lots of stuff. Oh, snow cones. Yeah, let me take a look at your solution before we go. I'm curious. Okay, snow cones. Snow cones, can you... Let me check out the link. Huh, I can't see your solution, snow cones. Can you give it to me in a paste bin? So can you maybe paste it in? Do you have a project in mind that you want to make in C? I mean, the reason I'm learning C is to learn about like low-level coding challenges, so stuff like reverse engineering and binary exploitation. Actually, let me check to see if I can take a look at your solution on my screen. Just a second. Ah, okay. I see it. Sorry about that, Snow X-Cones. Okay, let's take a look. So the code is... So find error, okay, so dupe missing, set size equal length of nums, solve list. Solve list is a empty list. Figure out which number is duplicated. For I in range, I set size plus 1, num count equals nums.count of I. If nums.count I is equal to 2, dupe equals I break. Okay, figure out which number is missing, remove the dupe. Nums.remove dupe, missing equals sum, range 1. Wait, is this your code or my code? I'm sure. No, this is my code. Hold on. Sorry. Let me take a look at the paste bin. I thought I was having deja vu. I thought I was going crazy. Okay, let's take a look at Snowcone's solution. Okay, so s equals set. S equals set. Set. Dupe equals none. Dupe equals none. Number sum equals 0. For number in nums, for num in nums, if num in s, so s is the set. If s in set, then the dupe is that number. S.add. What is set initialized to though? So if you just run set by itself without any arguments, what does it actually give you? Set is empty, okay. So if num in s, so s equals set, dupe equals num. S.add, so add the number to the set. Oh, okay. So that makes sense. And then we append num sums equals plus, so we append, we iterate the number to the num sum. So we keep a running count. So num sum, so after we get out of the for loop, then num sum is decremented by dupe. Okay, and then n equals the length of numbers. The expected sum equals the integer of 1 plus n times n divided by 2. Missing equals expected sum minus num sum. Return dupe and missing. This seems like a pretty elegant solution as well. Yeah, I like it. Okay. But, alright, so just thank you very much, Snow X-Cones. I'm very curious. I'm very curious to see your coding in action, because I don't see you coding very often on stream. I'd like to see it more. It'd be a lot of fun. Okay, but Lone, yeah, let me check out your solution as well. Okay, this looks much cleaner. Snow says, I had a LeetCode streaming phase while I was recruiting, but after I started working I kind of stopped. It's fun though. Yeah, I mean, you do all the LeetCode because you want to get the job, and after you get the job, then I guess there's not much of a point to keeping on with the LeetCode. I understand. It's like a muscle. If you stop, you kind of lose it. Yeah, I hear ya. I hear ya. Okay, so loans code over here. So find error nums. N equals the length of numbers. Expected sum equals integer of... Oh, this looks very... Yeah, this looks kind of similar to Snow's solution. So C equals 0. C... Okay, SE equals set of nums. S equals sum of SE. Thank you very much, Munuddin Hussein. Thank you very much for the subscription on YouTube. Thank you. Okay, SE is the set of the numbers. S equals the sum of SE. Okay. S2 equals sum of numbers. Return S2 minus S. Expected sum minus S. So this returns the... What is it called? The missing number, and this returns the dupe. Hey, it's Rama. Hello, Mr. Frog. Hello, it's Rama. Nice to see you. Okay, let's go ahead and start that raid, because we talked about it. And that was cybersecurity Valkyrie. Okay. Yeah, thank you very much. Thank you very much. And Snow, I wish I'd been able to see your stream, but I guess it's I guess I can catch up in your Discord. Oops. It's okay. I was just yapping. Yeah, but you know, we're here for the yap, right? Okay, everybody, we're going to be going off to cybersecurity Valkyrie. But yeah, we're going to be streaming again on Tuesday. We're going to be doing a co-working stream. I hope to see you there. Thank you very much to everybody who came on by and for all the raids. Much appreciated. And thank you very much. We'll be back on Tuesday. Hope to see you then. HackerFrogs out in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. See you next time, everybody.